All right, fellas, quick question. Are you boring? Is that what's keeping you from finding your forever person? Right? This lady seems to think so. So let's get into it.
Y'all, Mayday, Mayday. I think I'm gonna be single forever. I had to say I hear y'all. I'm sorry, but y'all men are boring. Y'all men are so effing boring. Like it is comic. It's sad but comical at the same time. So I'm on dating apps. So when I ask men, like, what's your hobbies? What do you like to do? What are your interests? It's like, well, I watch Netflix. I watch football. And don't get me started on hunting and fishing. I'm not into a man that hunts and fishing all that, sweetie. I'm sorry. That's just not my thing. I'm a black woman from Detroit. Like, do you think I would be into hunting and fishing?
Now, I don't want to take things, out of context or without context, but most black men aren't into hunting and fishing. Like we didn't grow up hunting or fishing. So I don't know if it's this is a demographic thing, but we'll leave it at that. We just want to, try to get a little more insight to what she's saying. Putting that aside, yeah, even, as a black man, you can absolutely be into hunting and fishing, but you're still boring.
Do I look like the type that would be into you slaughtering some undefensible animal? I have a son that's a vegetarian. Like we have a very very vegetarian friendly household. So slaughtering animals as you being my partner, slaughtering animals not gonna go over well in my household. So that's a no. But I've met so many men that don't have hobbies, that don't have interests. Men, what is wrong? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Again, watching TV, eating food is leisure things. Eating food is a necessity. Drinking water is a necessity. Going out to, oh, I like to go to bars and clubs. Okay, that's really, again, that's leisure. That's not a hobby. That's not an interest. I have hobbies. I have things that I actively participate in. A hobby is something that you actively, mentally, emotionally, socially, physically participate in. I'm an artist. I'm an award-winning artist. I write fan fiction. Check me out on my Wattpad, Nomadic Kitty FF, by the way. I'm a content creator. I'm a YouTuber. Nomadic Kitty is my YouTube. I like Korean and Asian culture. I like K-pop. I like to go to concerts. I like to go on vacation. I like to travel. I have things that I'm actively participating in, not things that I just talk about, but things that I actually do, things that bring me joy. Besides me hanging out with my wonderful, lovely children, um, being a parent isn't my hobby or my interest either. Being my parent is something I enjoy. It's something that I do. It's something that I love being a parent, but that's not a hobby or interest either. I take my kids and we do certain things and spend time together. That's family time. But I've met so many men that don't have interests. They don't do anything.
I think for a lot of men, we get down to being utilitarian, right? We do things because they need to get done. Go to work, do a job that I hate. Um, Largely operate in society that tells me I'm bad, so it's hard to see and want to do other things. I I don't want to agree with her, but she's absolutely right. Right? You need hobbies, you need interests, you need things that you can discuss and things that you're passionate about. I remember growing up, being a nerd, being, playing chess at lunch, Yu-Gi-Oh, um, into comics, you know, but also, we had a coach where we went outside. So we played basketball, we played football, we played freeze tag, we played manhunt. Right? We I would like to think I was a good blend of things. But to be fair, you got ridiculed for a lot of your hobbies. Right? You got ridiculed until they became cool. They almost like a decade and a half later. Now everyone's into anime. Right? Now it's cool. Now people are want to examine the relationship between black culture and Japanese anime. Yeah, I've liked it since I was younger. Nothing wrong with that. But often when men do share their hobbies, like, hey, you like to go bowling, right? That's not for you. Hunting, right? Fishing, Those are hobbies. You're just, she's just not into them. So now they're boring, you know? So here's the thing. I think if you want to find if the things she named, like, you're creative, you're an artist, you're looking for someone else in that space that likes the things that you like. I think traveling is a leisure, activity. But yeah, you need to find people that are into the same things that you're into. And I'm always leery when we have a small subset of experience and then we bring it forward to the internet, right? To the world. And we proclaim to the world that men, right? Men are boring. The men that you seem to be interested in or that are interested in you are that. And it's a very, very narrow scope of things. So much so that it's more indicative that you're looking in the wrong place for your own tribe.
Playing video games to me doesn't count either.
Why not? Right? If men find this as a hobby, why shouldn't it count?
That don't count either. So if I could just find a man that actually likes to do things and go places, not come home, not go to work, come home and watch Netflix. I've talked to so many men, they're like, well, I really don't do anything. I really don't go anywhere. What do you have to talk about if you don't have hobbies or interests or anything interesting about you? Why would
I think people's individual stories can be interesting, right? How you develop to be the way you are, think the way you think. I think there's a lot of novelty in that, right? I think I'm an interesting person. Yeah, I travel. I read, I write, I create. Um, Food. I like cooking. I like making videos of me doing things, and now, we add that YouTuber, monocle on top of that. But you know, when if I'm looking for someone, you don't necessarily have to do all these things. You don't have to be a creative. You just have to have a life. Yes, I'm more concerned with you owning your own mind than saying, here, I've got a plethora of things that I do because I want to be interesting.
I want to be? Why would me, with so many hobbies and so many interests, and I have lots and lots of energy to do things. I work out. I go to the gym. I like fitness. I'm into health as well. Why would I want to be with you and you just go to work and come home and that's all you want to do? That was the problem.
Stability, right? Some people find that, pleasing, that you may be a high drive individual and you want someone that is stable, right? Stable, like the change of seasons, like day to night. You know where they're gonna be, you know what they want, you know what they're looking for. Some would label that as non-toxic, right? Boring is let's let's focus in for a second, right? Big screen. Sometimes relationships have to be boring, right? They have to be boring. They have to be mundane. It's you know what to expect. Input A, output C, right? That's the rule. That's the thing. And in between the exciting times, it's the boring things that kind of sustain a relationship. So looking for that, I need someone that's high driven like me. Okay, what happens when our hobbies, our interests flow different ways? Okay, just use her example. You like to write. You like to write fan fiction. He doesn't like to read. He likes to hunt. He likes to fish, right? He likes the things you don't enjoy. Just a non-starter, but you want someone that you want what you want is someone that's specifically tailored to her. You have high interest in the things that I'm also interested in. And if you're looking for that, yeah, you need to find that amongst your people, amongst other creators. And I got to apologize to this woman. I keep pausing it, unflattering positions.
Well, my last relationship, I had a man that did nothing but go to work and come home, and that's it. And he was younger than me. Y'all, he was 6 years younger than me. Like, that's cool when you like in your 70s and 80s and you tired, you got arthritis, you know, your knee, your back, you infirmed in some sort of way, if you're handicapped in some certain way, if you have a disability, I get it. But these are men, are able-bodied men, not men with disabilities, not men that are handicapped, men that are younger than me, y'all, younger than me.
Man, don't be shamed into doing things you're not into, right? I understand compromise in a relationship. Yeah, you know, you should be willing to try new things and expand your horizons. That's the beauty of when you're with someone that's not like you. They get to change. They should have an ability to shape and change different aspects of your life. Don't feel bad if you're not into the same things, though. Right? There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm talking about men in their late 30s, early 40s. That is younger than your girl. And these men act like old ass men. They act like old men. Have you been to a movie? No, I ain't been to the movies in like over a year. Oh,
Rarely anything good at the movies, right? There's there really anything original. We used to go see all the Marvel movies, and then they changed the script on that. Yeah, I've been old since I was young, right? Anyone that really knows me in real life knows that I say that all the time.
okay. I like going to movies too. Have you been to a concert? No, it's been a couple years since I've been to a concert. So, any bands or anything that you're interested in besides sitting at home scrolling through social media, watching corn, anything other than that. Besides coming home watching Netflix and self-pleasuring. What besides that? No, that's about it.
Now, I can't believe this is actually like a conversation that she's actually having with someone. Yeah, that's what I'm really into. Just pleasuring myself and Netflix and a good Netflix documentary and pleasure myself. That's the highlight of my day, right? That's what I'm. It's a perfect Saturday for me. Again, not to shame men into doing stuff that you're not into, but realistically, like you we do experience the world through women. You get a good woman in your life, and she's gonna open your eyes up to a world of things. So be open to that. Be open to that. I I think that's a beautiful thing when you're with someone, right? I personally I do not take care of myself in critical ways. Self care, right? I got into self care, because of my female friends and wanting better skin, right? That wasn't something any of my guy friends recommended to me like intensely. Now that I'll have like different routines. This is what my night routine is, my morning routine. Self care in terms of taking care of my body, in terms of massages, in terms of stretching. Right? A lot of these important things came from women saying, "Yeah, you should do this. You should be kinder to yourself." Men will run ourselves into a ditch trying to be productive and more productive and fit in more time for more productivity, be more effective with productivity, and then turn around and look around and say, "Well, yeah, when's the last time you've been to the movies? I don't know. When's the last time you've been on vacation? Right? When's the last time you've been on a beach somewhere? When's the last time you just got away from that?" Even when I go on vacation, I take work with me. Right? There's a pleasure in that. So again, while I largely would love to disagree with what she's saying, right? The delivery and coming online to just kind of say, "Man, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all are boring." Right? Manager's gonna turn around. Well, was the was the father of your children boring, right? Or is this a later thing that you discover in your life that you detested this sort of lifestyle in your previous relationships? Is that what you learned? What are you looking for? Are you open to men having their own hobbies that you may not find tasteful? Right? I think rather than coming on here to try to make men feel bad, like what is the goal, right? What is the goal? I think it's one of those things where you add another layer on to what you need in a partner, what you need from a partner. I need someone that does these things. Go there, go and look, right? In your fan fiction, in the people that may subscribe to it, that may be where your people are. Or you might join sort of clubs where people gather to exchange their writing. Perfect, right? I think it's better than going on dating apps and then not liking the men that you end up match with and then saying all of us are boring. Just find who's right for you. In the meantime, yeah, you might end up alone if you keep doing what you're doing and expecting people to be exactly like you. But again, let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.